Hi all, happy Monday. I hope you had a beautiful restorative weekend, something that charged you up for the week ahead, this wild ride that keeps seeming to get wilder by the minute. I wanted to let you guys know that the podcast that I've mentioned several times in prior videos, it's dealing with ancestors, demons, and the Horde. And I talk about walk-ins and share some tools that came through with Miriam from Awakened Aspects. And I'll link it in the description. I made a post about it on my YouTube page, but in case you didn't see it, I wanted to share because there's really good information in there. And I'm talking about an issue for my ancestral line in particular that goes back 70 generations. And it's not something that I believe affects just me. I believe that earthbound souls that are being purposely earthbound and held in the fourth dimension are what people, when people are talking about there being a frequency fence in the astral, a frequency fence in the fourth dimension, I believe this is the biggest one. Because if you think about what, millions, if not billions of earthbound souls, these fragmented souls, what would that do to the vibrational frequency of the earth? And the reason it's important to know about it and to clear it is because these things that are in the ancestral line, illness, poverty, depression, resentment, anger, addiction, all of these things, anything sourcing from fear that is connected to your ancestral line, that is connected to these earthbound ancestors, that's in your field. And so for me, clearing it, my entire life, the entire life of this body, there have been health issues. I mean, from very young. And for some people, it won't necessarily be health issues. It'll be a struggle with resources, a struggle with poverty, or maybe, like I said, addiction, any of these things sourcing from fear. And when we have these in our field, when we have them connected to our bloodline, connected to our ancestral line, it just takes the right circumstances, the right or the wrong circumstances, really, to activate what is waiting there in the shadows. And I believe a lot of the distress that people are experiencing right now, I mean, there's a lot out there. There's, we're being hit with mind control, and they're poisoning our skies, poisoning our food. We're getting hit at every angle. But what I believe is being pushed most to the surface is this wound, is this huge wound for humanity. This inversion, this breaking of the system, because we weren't meant to come here and live and die and then be stuck. We were meant to come here, live, die, and then go back to our Creator, where we could be cleared, healed, educated before we incarnated again. And what's happened is these earthbound souls have been trapped, force reincarnated. And so these are beings that have been incarnating from a fragmented place rather than from a whole healed place. This is why we've seen society devolve, right? So take a look at that. You know, what is it that catches ancestors? What is it that catches anybody up when they pass? It's discordant energies in the field. It's traumas that have not been healed, densities that have not been cleared. You know, we are programmed away from self-care. We are programmed away from self-healing, right? We're programmed to look outside of ourselves for everything. You know, looking at the government to save us, or teachers, or bosses, or whatever, and that's not what we're here for. We're sovereign beings. We're not even here to be ruled, right? You weren't born to be ruled by somebody else. You were born to be sovereign and free. And so this ancestor bit it's a big piece. It's a big piece, and one worth paying attention to. You know, pray for your ancestors, fill them with unconditional love. Really work on the trauma in your field. You know, talk to spirit, God, your higher power. Ask to be shown what's hiding. You know, clear all hidden things, clear all reasons for things to be hidden is one of my favorite things to say, because I've had a lot of stuff hiding in my field, I'm not gonna lie. Something that came up actually that surprised me, I talked about how I went to the retreat with Denise Lynn, and my heart was blocked. What was blocking my heart was a baby I had miscarried, a baby I miscarried between my 35 and my 30-year-old. And I grieved that loss at the time. And this baby couldn't cross until I cleared the ancestral horde, because what happens is one person gets caught, and then whatever energies are in their field, fear, illness, depression, despair, whatever is in their field, they will start attracting other beings in the astral, which is, you know, I call the astral the hell realm. They'll start attracting beings that hold those same energies, and they further fragment. And so these fragmented beings attract more and more and more, and it becomes this demonic horde. They get pulled into what becomes demonic forces, satanic forces, because they are fragmented to an extent that they are unable to reach their divinity. You know, generally without someone helping them. And so I've had people holding space for me these last couple months, actually going all the way back to July regularly, because it's been a big thing to unravel and to piece together the mystery of what was going on. And yeah, so I encourage you to watch that, and to keep praying for your ancestors. Do your work. Do the things that you know. Use your tools. Do the things that you know how to do to clear trauma. I've shared so many little things, little tips here and there. And I talked in my last video about how when we practice these things regularly, it leads to a power later And what I mean by that is, I heard somebody, I wish I could remember who it is right now because I'd give them credit, but they were talking about how, you wouldn't read a book about how to run a marathon and then go run a marathon. You would read a book about how to run a marathon. You would practice what they said. I mean, if you're doing it, a smart way, you would practice then what the book says to do prior to running a marathon before you ran the marathon. And this is how all of these spiritual tips work. You learn the tool, you practice the tool, and the tool becomes so second nature that when you find yourself in a tricky situation, it's more like instinct, and it's super helpful if you've got fragmented inner children. It's super helpful to have these practices be second nature, because it's very difficult to get to your tools when your inner child is activated. So I'm sending you guys a lot of love today. And let me know in the comments what you think, if you have a watch, or let me know in the comments, even on the podcast, in the podcast comments. Let me know what you think about it. And if you are commenting on my videos specifically to be in the running for the free session monthly, do me a favor, and at the end of your comment, just put a little star session at the end of it, because we gave away 2 last month and we only had 1 taker, and I don't want to make anybody feel funky. This is something I'm doing to be helpful. So, and I just want to make sure that that if I'm giving away a free session, it's going somewhere that it's desired. So pop a little just session at the end of your comment. And I'm sending you guys a lot of love, and I'll see you soon.